with a fun fold and using a lovely bundle for the florals. This actual stamp set and the coordinating die set are the ones that came in the virtual card making retreat Stampin' Up! Held and still have. So if you really liked it, you can still purchase the actual card retreat of going to my website, my online store, and go virtual card retreat, and you can buy these as part of the package that includes all of the supplies plus some more to make 15 cards. But these stamp set will also be available coming up in March. And I've decided to pair that lovely stamp set and die bundle with the gorgeous product of the month. This is the Painted Illusions Designer Series paper. And the best way to show off Designer Series paper, in my opinion, is to give it a really cool fun fold. So this is the fun fold I have for you today. Now I have done all of my die cutting prior to coming on today. We actually taught this card this morning, so this is my leftover project from our class this morning. I'll just pop that there so you can see that. Pop all my bits and pieces over here. Now this paper has been scored already. It is, the length of the paper is 12 inches by 6 inches high, and then you score it at 2 inches, and then 4 inches, and then 8 inches, and 10 inches to create this really super cool fold that becomes a gatefold. And then chop off, measure 2 inches up from each side and chop off that triangle which goes there. And then with the leftover triangle, I've already scored my cardstock. I'm going to pop them on each of the corners just to use them up and also to give the card a bit more structure. But it's a lovely little effect to finish off the card. Okay, let's pop you down here, just lining that up there on that side. And then this one on the other side, lining it up like this. There we go. Oops. And then that folds in like that and in like that to create my card. Now, while I'm gluing, I am going to glue my panel for inside my card, and then we'll do some stamping with all of the bits and pieces. Panel for inside my card, and also a coordinating Granny Apple Green panel. Now, this one is going to go only on half of my card here, and I also have to be careful I don't put glue on that little triangle there. So just with my seal, just going to add some adhesive right on this section here, plenty there, and then pop that there. And then let's get ready for our stamping. So I'm going to pop my greeting right in the middle of the really little one, so that that is the front feature of the card. And I'm using Pretty Peacock ink, which is one of the colours that's in the Designer Series paper. I love how you can read the back of the Designer Series paper and see all of the colours that are in the paper. And then I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, which is another of the colours in the paper, and stamp myself a couple of leaves there on the front of my project. And for my panel inside my project, a little flower for the corner, and perhaps a couple of leaves at the top. 1, 2, there we go. Now the other really wonderful part of this stamp set is there's a little stamp perfectly designed for putting the vine or the leaf detail onto each of the leaves. That lines up exactly with the image. Check that out, isn't that cool? And then here's another one here. Thank you if you're joining me today. I don't often come up on YouTube live, but this is an experiment for me. I'm learning how to use it, and I figure the best way to learn is to just do it. So I'm not entirely sure how it's looking for you, but I'm trying my very best, I assure you. Right, and the last thing I'm going to do is add some beautiful floral details. Here we go. This one goes on top of this here, and then some cute tiny little flowers for the front of my card, just to zhuzh it up a bit. There we go. I think that's all my stamping done now. I can just pop that out of the way. And then let's stick those into the card. Oh, not you, this one. This one here. There's my panel for inside my card. And my panel for the front of the card. I love this fun fold. I think I'll be making a lot more of these in the future. And now, to make my card extra interesting, with a bit of colour, I'm just going to flick using my Granny Apple Green stamping blend on each corner of my panels. So a great way to add a bit more colour and excitement. Alright, now I could stop there because that's a pretty beautiful card, but I have done some die cutting. So I want to put some pretty flowers onto my card, and these also act as a bit of an anchor for holding it closed. Now, I am going to use mini dimensionals on the back of my flowers, and you can see them through the flower centers, but I'm going to come back and add some beautiful sparkly iridescent circles onto the tops of them. There you go. So there's my, there's my flowers. Here's one as well. I haven't popped out all of the centers out of this one. There we go. Pop some mini dimensionals on the back of that. Oops. Double up those there. And some little ones. I've got stuff all over my fingers here. Oop. Tuck you under there. One there. And one more down here. And then all I have to do is add my little bit of baker's twine to make a gorgeous bow. I'm just doubling it over and tying it like I would tie a shoelace, and then adjust my bow, tighten it again, trim the end, and then I can stick that on using a mini glue dot, which are the best things ever for sticking ribbons and embellishments onto projects. Okay, I'll pop you right in the middle of all of those flowers. And then, last of all, we've got our leaves. So I'm just going to turn them all over and add a little bit of glue to each of them. I don't need much, just a bit of glue, 1, 2, on each of my leaves. Less is more with this glue. It's very sticky, very tacky, and it doesn't take long for it to stick really well as well. And one more. Oops. A bit of extra glue there. I'll have to wait for that one to dry a bit. The good thing about this glue is if you let it dry a bit, then it's almost repositionable. Okay, so with these guys, I'm going to pop a couple underneath this side to make it look extra beautiful. There we go. And some underneath my flowers here, one there, a couple underneath here as well. That's the beauty of having the dimensionals on the flowers, that I can tuck the leaves underneath. Okay, let me have a look. Now I'm going to stick some underneath here, which aren't actually underneath the panel, but when it's closed you'll be able to see them there. Okay, and my last one, I want, oops, my fingers are sticky, so I'm pulling out my leaves. Actually, I don't want that one quite so long. Chop him off. There we are. And this one, I want a bit on this side. So I might have to chop off a couple of leaves, or chop him that way so that I can stick him right underneath there. There we go. And then the last thing is these, as I said, these absolutely stunning. These are the pearlized faceted circles. And they're the perfect colour scheme to go with this project. Now on my project here I put the white ones, but I might put the petal pink ones on this time. So especially the flowers that have the dimensionals underneath them, I will put them on to cover up the adhesive so you can't see the adhesive. Okay, but then I'll also add a couple more here and there. Oops, did I have one? Oh, there it is on my finger. One there. Don't they make it just sparkle? They're just beautiful. I will put a couple on each of these little flowers on my greeting. How many more will I put on? A couple more over here. You can never have too much bling, I don't think. One there, one underneath there, and maybe one more here. There we go. So there's my Thinking of You card using the Forever Florals bundle, and the product of the month, the Painted Illusions Specialty Designer Series paper, in a really, really fun double gatefold. Thanks for joining me. Bye now.